Assalamu alaikum, my brothers. How are you? I hope you are doing well. I am very well. Let me make a video and give you some real world scenarios, and I want to know what you would do. And then at the end of the video, I'll tell you what I did. So, and then you can compare, and if you can learn something from it, great. Maybe you can take something away from that. So, first scenario. Let's say a couple of days ago, this actually happened to me too. 2 days ago, I was on a business trip. I went to a hotel, Intercontinental, 5-star hotel. You figure you have some good food, breakfast time, went downstairs, couldn't find anything healthy. 5-star hotel, and I can't find a single thing healthy. They had all the white breads in the world, no problem. They didn't have, forget about natural peanut butter, they didn't even know what peanut butter was. I'm in Saudi, for those of you that are watching. I'm in Saudi, so they don't use peanut butter here. So we didn't even know what peanut butter was. This is Intercontinental, 5-star, and let's not forget. They had all the butters, all the margarines, all the sugars, honey, all the white breads, all the beans, everything. So what do? It's breakfast time. This is your first meal. This is your biggest meal. You gotta eat. What do? They did have eggs, luckily. So I asked the waiter, go ahead and make me a 6 egg white omelet. No oil, no salt. Simple. And bring me some coffee. I mean, that's the only thing that was healthy, so I ordered that. The waiter comes back 2 minutes later, and he presents a dish in front of me, and I can see that there's some yolks in it. And it's definitely not 5 egg whites, because if you are like me and you eat eggs every day, you know what 5 egg omelet looks like. So it arrives. What do? Do you just go ahead and eat it? You eat the omelet? What do? Scenario number 1. All right, second scenario. A couple of years ago, I was at a wedding. And this is a non-Muslim wedding, so they're serving all kinds of food. The waiter comes around. Yeah, it's time for you to eat. They're going to be serving pasta, white bread on the table. You have white bread, you have pasta, white pasta, of course. You know, and desserts galore. What are you going to do? Do you just suck it up and just eat what's served? They have a whole bunch of cold cuts, you know, all the different types of cold cuts and everything, you know, which are filled with salt. You know they're filled with salt. What do? Scenario number 2, you're at a wedding. Scenario number 3. I work in Saudi Arabia, and I go home to Montreal to my parents' house every year. And I go home, and I have an old-fashioned mother, bless her soul, and she cooks with really heavy oil. I'm not talking a teaspoon of oil, I'm not talking a tablespoon of oil, I'm talking a ladle full of oil in all her foods. All my Asian, Pakistani, Indian brothers, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know the biryanis and all that stuff. You know how heavy it is. Okay? What do? Do you just eat your mother's food? Those are your 3 scenarios. Think about it. I'll give you a minute to think about it. And then I'll tell you what I do. Ready? Ready for my answer? Okay, scenario number 1. The waiter came back and he gave me the omelet. Now, it's not an egg white omelet. There's yolks in it. First of all, I told him to take the omelet back. And I asked him, I said, I want a 5 or 6 egg white omelet. I actually, this is the truth. I actually went, and the cook had an open counter cook. He was cooking on a stove range, but you can actually see him. So I actually stood by him, and I told him I want 6 egg whites. Here in Saudi, it's not common for people to have just egg whites. He didn't understand the concept. So it's, you know, to his defense, he didn't understand. But I actually stood there. I told him to take the plate back. I made him redo it. I told him just the egg whites, no yolks. I told him don't put salt. He was going to put salt. I said don't put oil. He didn't understand the concept. Don't put oil. I forget about asking him to use cooking spray. He doesn't even know what that is. So I said, okay, just put a little bit of oil, egg whites. Go ahead and do that. That's the only thing you can get in a supposedly 5-star hotel. That's my scenario. I told him return the plate, and I actually stood by him and I watched him make my egg white omelet. Second scenario, at a wedding a couple of years ago. What did I do? I actually brought my own food. I had a Tupperware with my chicken. First of all, if this is for my Muslim viewers, I eat only halal. And if you're Muslim and you're not eating halal, or you're not eating halal all the time, shame on you. You should be eating halal. There's no excuse for you not to be eating halal. And this is for the non-Muslims. If you don't know what halal food is, just go ahead and Google it. Basically, it's just food that's prepared in a specific way. It's cleaner, the blood is drained, it's more healthy. Go ahead and Google it and you'll find, and you might want to start consuming halal food. It's just better. I think it's better for you. I had a Tupperware, I brought my own chicken, I brought my own food, and you might want to use this little trick. When the waiter came around, I told him, I have a rare disease, I'm allergic to oil and salt. And he was surprisingly very helpful. He said, oh, okay, no problem, no problem. I said, here's my food, can you please warm it up and bring it back? And he warmed it up and he actually brought it back. So I ate my food, I was happy, everyone was happy, everyone was eating. I had my food, halal, prepared the way I want, no salt, no oil, everything, and everything, you know, went fine. Third scenario. Now I know my mother always cooks with heavy food, heavy oil, heavy cream in her biryani. What do? I actually don't suck it up. I will take the meats out of the biryani and I'll rinse them out. And my dad likes to poke fun at me, and what he does is he says, why don't you just put soap on it? And he actually tells me, you know, why don't you wash it out with soap? But anyway, bless his soul. This is what I do. I rinse my food out and I try not to eat too much. I'll make my own food. I'll make my own brown rice, plain, no oil, no salt. And I'll just take a little bit of the chicken and the beef and everything. You can take that out and have it with your brown rice. This is just to minimize the effects of the extra calories. All right, this is what I do. This is just a little, you know, something to know. You might want to incorporate it. If you learn something, great. All right, thanks for watching.